Like, I just can't wait to see what he does. Like,
Yeah.
it's going to be
I
really
think he's
really
going to
cool. So stick
surprise a
around.
lot of people. People are going to
Yeah.
be like, "Oh my gosh, you can really do that with brushes?"
Yep.
I can't wait.
It's really
Wow.
cool.
So, yeah, stick around for Scott Pilgrim here in just a little bit. But first, we always feature these two. Where are my fingers going? I don't know. But these two, Jamie, we have something pretty cool tonight. You talked, and I just kind of got a snippet of it. You want to show how we stay in the pocket at a slower tempo. Am I correct?
Yeah. So, as I was doing my session work and stuff as a young lad, I took a gig that had to play like really, really slow music. And it wasn't that it was like normal, like just, slowing down a little bit. Like they wanted this stuff almost at like a painfully slow pace. And it was really hard. And I didn't realize how hard it really is to lock in when you're playing at a very slow pace, especially if you're not able to play with a click track. With the click track, it's not easy, but if you're playing without one, then you're like, man, you really have to like get comfortable in that space. And
Right.
I think it's harder to play sometimes something at that slow pace and keep it steady than it is to play something really fast a lot of the times.
And
And so,
especially if you're playing slow and then you have a fill, you tend to rush the fill
mhm.
because when you come out of the however difficult you choose to make the fill at a slow tempo, you still have to be back on that one for that next measure. And that really shows whether you are in the pocket or not.
It's
Yeah, I
almost
remember.
like restraint. You have to hold yourself back.
Yeah,
You
you got to
really
like
do. Yep.
get into that rhythm and just like become it. Like when I remember back in music school, they used to do this practice where we would play along to a recorded track, and then the track would cut out, and it would start out where it would cut out for just like two beats, and then it would go to three, and then four, and it would extend the amount of time that you had that empty space as you
Hmm.
progress through the lessons, to where you're playing for like quite some time with no click, and then expected to come back in on the one, and it gets really difficult. But if you
Yes.
get good at that, it's a really great
Because I
way to
think there's some
improve your talent.
metronomes that you can set that way.
Hmm.
I can't remember which metronome, but you can
What
knock
what
out a measure, two measures.
Yep.
what time signature are we going to demonstrate in?
Well, today we've got Dorothea's gonna be playing a 12/8, and I'm gonna be doing a 4/4.
Wow,
Hmm.
that's awesome. Dorothy, you want to kick us off?
Okay. So if anybody is unaware of what 12/8 is, they are in groups of three: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 1, 2, 3. So that's how you count the 12. You can count it in four: 1, 2, 3, 4, or you can count and feel the 12. I'm not counting out loud, but in my head, I'm feeling the 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12.
Is it a
And
swingy type feel?
no,
It's not
no,
swingy.
it's
It's a
still going to be
triplet kind of
straight.
feel.
Yeah, but it's still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. But it will be straight, so you'll hear. And I'm going to play it. I chose to play it on top of the original drums.
Cool.
So it will kind of challenge me because you could kind of cheat easier if the drums aren't there because people aren't going to notice it as much. But I'm going to try it with the drums in there and see how close that I can get. If you hear kind of like flamming, like the original boom, and then me after boom, 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 you'll be able to tell I was not straight in the pocket the whole time.
Wow.
So let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's hear it. In the Pocket, live.com every Monday, 8 p.m. Eastern. Big shout out to Charlie Cohen. Hopefully soon, broadcasting through all platforms, but you could always catch the replay at YouTube. In the Pocket show. It's Miss Dorothea Taylor showing us what it's like to be in the pocket at 12/8.
As she approaches the tee with these brushes. This is the going for par.
Wow.
That was amazing.
People in the chat, what do you think of that?
job.
Questions bringing through. Jamie.
So
That
was I
was
there? Was
Perfect. Yeah,
I on it?
that was
Gorgeous.
great. You know, it makes me want to bring up one little thing that has to do with streaming that I think most of you are aware of, but I don't know if you guys experience this, but sometimes the bandwidth will kind of drag a little bit, and when that happens, it's not that the drummer's not on beat. That's just a technical thing with the platform. But she nailed that. That was really amazing. So, good job. I like
Thank you.
the tastefulness with the brushes. Very good.
Yeah, we could tell you're holding back because we know you can do so much more and you could add so much more to that, but the song doesn't require it.
No. It just wants the in the pocket groove, and that's all. Because if there were somebody real, up there singing, they don't want to hear a bunch of confusion going all over the place. You wait for that one little break where boom, 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 and then you're back into the pocket again. And that's all the band and the singer wants.
Yeah. Well, and that was a very soulful type song, and vocal in the front almost. You want to hear that vocal, you want to feel that vocal, and you're creating that pocket just to kind of let the people sway into that, right, Jamie?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's the song that, like you said, it's featuring the vocal part there, and so you really want to just be supportive and play like that back rhythm and fit in that pocket.
Yep.
And that was a 12/8,
She
huh?
did.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. Huh.
And I could see a little bit of a hit in her eye, like she wanted to bust out a blast beat right there, but she's got that discipline to hold back. So
Yeah.
we've got a 4/4 song that's another slow little groove for you guys, and I'll show you how that one goes right here. There we go.
Look at me, look at you, all this time. What should we do with so much time for us to meet? Let's get it on between the beats. I'm feeling you, you're feeling me. Let's get it on between the beats.
Beautiful. Gorgeous. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I could still see your style in that, even though you're playing much slower. I could still see your style. I know you like to do the dynamics on the hi-hat. That's kind of your trademark in a sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I could still see you put that in there.
Yeah, and to be honest with you, if I was playing this like on a session, I would probably have simplified it a little more. I think part of doing the live streaming thing is you kind of like there's certain times where you kind of step it up a little bit, I guess, for performance reasons. But that varies when you're recording and stuff. I guess I would say
It all depends on who you're recording with, what track you're putting down.
This might be a silly question, but it's for the both of you. How would you know whether to be a little bit before the pocket or a little bit after when you're hitting that snare?
Well, what are you trying to create as far as the momentum. You know, like if you want a song that's got like, you know, like an up tempo, like forward momentum, you might get ahead of it a little bit. And at the same time, though, one of the things that it can be kind of confusing is you're also playing in relation to the other musicians. So when you're playing live, especially if you're not on a click track or something, there's going to be variance between where they're at on that, you know, in the pocket too. So you're going to be playing around them. And so it's kind of like, it's hard to explain, but you just have to get like that feel down. And it helps when you're familiar with who you're playing with, or if you just have kind of like a good, like rapport with them, you know, on your instrument. But, you know, if you want to slow something to have that drag feel, you're playing blues or something, you know, that's when you would want to.
There's certain bands that want you to play behind the beat, but you can't be so far behind that it's wrong. So it's like when they tell you play a little bit behind the beat, it's like, okay, but I still need to be in the pocket. And for an example, Jamie kind of mentioned this to me earlier today when he asked about what I could do in 12/8. We brought up Gravity by John Mayer. And that's, I think Steve Jordan is playing that. And he is, I mean, at the very last fraction of a second there with that backbeat. It's not just, you know, it's like, like he waits till the last fraction to get that boom, 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 boom.
You hear that in like some STP songs too, where traditionally a lot of times you'll hear like rock drummers playing kind of ahead, but like the grunge era was a little bit different, you know, with a lot of those bands. Like STP's drummer was really like, he would lay back, especially when they would play live.
To stay in his pocket.
Is that hard to do for a beginner drummer? Does that take skill to
I
learn?
think some people have like a natural ability to
Yeah.
just find that, you know, like some people are just like, they're in it from the start, but it does take some time to develop, I think, for most people.
Yeah. Just experience
Yeah.
Playing
Just
with-
playing along.
all kinds of stuff. Yeah. Playing along.
Beautiful. Beautiful, guys. We have more, or was it the two songs?
Yes, that's all we had today for tracks.
Yep.
Okay.
So if we want, we could bring on Scott because he's got
Yeah.
some great stuff.
Probably have
Absolutely
a lot.
beautiful, guys. And guys, if you have not subscribed and followed these two extraordinary, talented performers, please do so now. Just hit that plus button right next to their name here on their boxes. Check out all of their other platforms as well: YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. You'll see them. You'll know them. You'll love them. The content is just insane. It really can take you down a rabbit hole of so many demonstrations of different skill sets and songs, like what Drummer's Diary does, and it's a lot of fun. A
Yes.
good time killer, a fidget spinner, if you will. But we'd love to welcome this is an honor. Scott, we've been big fans. Dorothea, a huge fan of yours, and she'll mention that here. But welcome to In the Pocket. It's Scott Pilgrim. I want to start because the moniker is out there that people kind of call you a mad scientist. Where does that come from? How does that begin?
To be honest, I'm not really sure. I kind of feel like there's a motto that I like to put out there first and foremost for everyone. First and foremost, thank you for having me. This has been so much fun. You're talking all my language here, especially the 4/4, the 12/8, Steve Jordan, the Stone Temple Pilots. That's like some of my favorite music and my upbringing. And with that being said, I kind of feel like with any musician, any artist out there, the life that you live and the life that you lead will kind of create your art, right? I'm the youngest of five with a 21-year gap between myself and my eldest brother. And I grew up on a farm where we had Arabian horses, cattle, exotic birds, monkeys, miniature goats, you name it. And so, although we had a big family, I was kind of an only child at the same time. So I spent a lot of my time playing drums and spending a lot of time in the woods and on the rivers and climbing trees and building forts and stuff. So it gave me a lot of time to be on my own and to absorb the sounds of nature. Sixteen, when I could drive myself to gigs. That's when I went full time. And when I saw the money coming in from doing something that I love to do, and I could buy the gear that I wanted to buy, I was all in.
Oh, yeah.
But it was around age 4 or 5 is when I like learned my first full song, and it was Van Halen Jump. And that's still to like, I love Van Halen. I'm a total nut for Van Halen. But that song, still to this day, that intro always messes me up because of where the keyboard is playing the pushes versus where you think the downbeat is. Is one of those songs that you have to be counting and you have to know the tune ahead of time. Otherwise, you're going to fall on your face trying to hit the.
So are you Van Halen with David, Sammy, and I can't remember the last guy's name?
Oh, yeah. Well, I got to love the high kicks and the spandex. You know? So I'm a big fan of that. Like Panama is definitely a jam that's a guilty pleasure. I need to get into a good mood or get pumped up. That tune comes on right away. It is something about Van Halen. I don't look at them as individual members, although each person was individually amazing. As the way they put their music together and the way they wrote, to me, is just unbelievable because it sounds very simple, but when you try to play the music, you realize how you have to have your part, and you don't stray from those parts. And there's lots of hits and punches and kicks and stops and breaks that are so important that you think you can jump behind the kit and learn the music right off the bat, and then you try to play it and you fall on your face.
Now, did you have a musical family, or were you the only one that was doing
Yeah, kind of the black sheep. I mean, my brother and my sister played trumpet a little bit in grade school, junior high, high school, and stuff like that, and they did well. They were like first chair, and then once they got out of high school, they were done.
Yeah.
My dad really loved to sing around the house and listen to orchestral music, symphonic music, and big band. And then all of my siblings, because of the age gaps, all were into very different styles of music. So I think that's where I got exposed from, like Rush and Journey and Kansas to The Cure and Nitzareb to punk rock to Devo and then big band music. So as I was growing up, I didn't have I just listened to a certain style of music. But when I was a teenager in the 90s, that's when Stone Temple Pilots and Soundgarden and Nirvana were out. And those bands, that era to me is some of the best music that came out that was popular. Best guitar tones. I'll argue that to this day. Like some of my favorite guitarists and guitar tones, and drummers. I mean, Matt Cameron,
Oh yeah.
unbelievable. Danny Carey, holy cow. Is it Eric Krantz from Stone Temple Pilots? Like unbelievable musicianship. So that's kind of when my head was really, I was studying jazz and jazz fusion and big band, and then that music came out. And so I was like, Billy Cobham, Dennis Chambers, Dave Weckl, and then Jimmy Chamberlain and Matt Cameron, you know,
Yep.
Dave Grohl. So it was like best of both worlds.
Dorothea, you're a huge fan of Scott. When did you first discover him, and what got you excited about his content?
Well, I'm not sure of the first year. I don't know if you were on YouTube that I found you or Facebook. I mean, because I've been watching you for years, but I can't remember where we started out. And I mean, the first time I just saw him and he was just playing something off the wall as far as, you know, it wasn't just right behind a drum set. It was just something really clever. And that just drew me in. And so I was like, oh, I've got to follow him and see what he's doing next. It was just unbelievable what I had seen that first time.
The improv stuff is really fascinating, Scott. And you know, there's so much content out there, a lot of drummers. What is the difference between improvisation and someone just going all over the kit? Is there a set kind of definition of each one?
The way I like to look at it, because I'm crazy, I decided I was going to devote my life to improvisation and creativity. I think they go hand in hand. To me, improvisation is, you can make plans to go out to dinner and maybe go out and see some live music and meet up with some friends, but you can't necessarily plan what's going to happen from the moment you get into your car, you go to the restaurant, you order food, you know, pay your tab, and then you go see some live music, and, you know, you end up coming back home. But you had a plan, right? There was a bit of a structure that says, I'm going to do this, and I plan to do this with these people, and then eventually I'm going to end up back home. But what happens in between there, you don't really know what the universe is going to bring to you. You don't know what life is going to throw at you. And then the part that's really interesting is how you act or react. You'll see a lot of people that might say, hey, I'm feeling, you know, creative today, and they'll set up a drum kit, and maybe there's cymbals up here and 5 snare drums over here, but they might sit down and they did a creative setup, but they might be playing the same stuff that they've always done, but it'll sound slightly different because the setup's there. Improvisation would say, okay, right now I want you to make something happen. Let's go. And you take from all the information that you put out there, from your rudiments to song structure, or is it a shuffle or a swing, and you decide, I'm going to pick this and stick with it. And maybe I'll derail a little bit, but that derail might become a B section, right? If you're just trying to play everything you know, you're going to probably wear yourself out, and you may not be able to communicate with the audience or the other musicians, right?
Right.
So the goal is when you're improvising to kind of make it feel like it was very well prepared. And to me, that's kind of the foundation, a very solid foundation for improvisation, if that makes sense.
Oh, well said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being prepared with your chops.
Yeah.
Being prepared. And that's why, you know, we were talking about with Steve Jordan playing Gravity. It's that whole album continuum. If you're out there watching this, hey, hi, hello. That album should be, if you're a drummer or all-around musician, singer, songwriter, producer, engineer, listen to that album. Put it in your top 10, top 12, even top 5.
Yeah.
That album changed my life because it's the parts that everyone plays. Pino Palladino is one of my favorite bassists, but the choices that Steve decides, right? He's playing this super slow, like 12/8 groove, or you could call it a 6/8 depending on where the changes are. but then there's this beautiful snare sound that's a bit poppier in a slower song. Whereas sometimes people would think, let's take this really deep snare drum because it's a slow song and make it, you know, a thicker, fatter note.
Yeah.
But he came back with this beautiful pop.
I know.
And then he still gives it a little bit of that church bounce on the bass drum where you think he's going to miss that backbeat. And then you get boom,
Yeah.
you know? And when I heard that album, especially listening to all the Chick Corea stuff, Electric Fan, and all the notes in the world with all the phrasing and all the hits, I equally was completely blown away with what Steve did as a drummer and producer on that record. It changed my life. I got goosebumps and I said, I know what I need to do with my life. So I kind of moved in that direction. But again, the same thing, if you're going to start to improvise, you can just say to yourself, all right, I'm going to play da-don't, ah, ba-boom, stop, boom, ba, boom, don't, da, 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 da. You don't have to come in and be like, boom, da, boom, you know?
You don't need that. No.
You don't need it. And when a lot of people sit down and play and they get a little confused or frustrated with improvisation, it's probably because they're trying to play everything they know or trying to play all the notes instead of, in all of our songs, we always have a tension and a release. Just like a 3-2 or a 2-3 clave. There's going to be a tension and a release. There's in a song where the chords go through and then it comes back, right? We have to think that way when we're improvising to give some breath. If you come right out of the way, just blazing guns here, flamethrowers, you're not going to have a lot of oxygen in the room for anyone to breathe. But if you take that time and just think, you know, as simple as you know, not fancy. But you can build off of that. There's your foundation. There's your A. There's your A section or your verse, right? Then you can build off of that. So if anyone's out there wanting to work on improvisation, take your risk, be willing to fail, you know, think outside of the box, but start nice and easy. Allow the ideas to come to you, you know? That'll allow those channels for you to flow, all the rudiments, all the chops, all the exercises you've gone through, all the songs you've learned, and then it'll kind of come to you, and you can, in the moment, be creating and thinking. What I learned to do as well, when we're talking about groove, whether it's on the record, on the gig, or improvising, I might think, oh, ah, boom, and in my head, I'll play all the drum fills. Right now, I'm Neil Pertinent all day, but what am I doing outside of me? Okay, now I can build. Now we're improvising. Nothing fancy though, right?
A lot of
Yet it is.
fans of yours. Oh, I'm sorry, Dorothea. Go ahead.
But I was just saying, it's not fancy, but yet it is. It's perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. And I think that's one thing. It can be a little intimidating these days when you hop on TikTok or any social media platform and you see a 9-year-old kid just ripping Dave Weckl and Vinnie Colaiuta tunes. They're like, oh, man, holy cow. But it's also amazing because that means that our art form is being carried on. The torches have been passed on to the next generation, and all of our generations are still carrying it, and we're still inspired, and we're still all meeting each other and discovering each other. So we're at the same time, with all the notes in the world being played, we're still discovering this instrument because the trap set, the drum kit, is not that old. When you think about it, it's not that old. It's very new, especially when you compare it to the human voice. right?
Right. Right.
Very true.
So we're still in this process of innovation and discovery and creativity, and there's new styles of music coming out. There's new techniques being discovered or rediscovered, because there's a lot of stuff that has been left behind because we're doing more of a systematic scholastic education for drum line. There's certain techniques to get people to play uniform and together versus avant-garde free jazz, right?
Mhm.
So we're in a really exciting time right now for our art form, which is very inspiring.
Wow. Lots of fans in the chat for you, Scott. Please follow
Cool.
Scott. Just hit that that little plus button. Um, big fans of the snare that you're playing. Talk a little bit about the equipment you have. Everyone's saying that that is such a beautiful snare that you have there.
It looks like a
Yeah.
really nice one.
Thank you. This is, if I'm not mistaken, it's the Latin percussion La Banda snare, and it's a 14. I believe it's by 8. And I have a friend named Brad Heisman. I got to give a shout out to Brad and Brad's Drum Shop. He's a guy in town here where I live in Grand Haven, Michigan. And he has an amazing museum of drums from about every maker you can imagine. And we started to become friends. He collects a lot of vintage stuff and he does a great job working on drums and finishing drums. And he hit me up and said, "Hey, do you have any drums you want me to mess with?" And I said, "Of course. I've got a lot of drums I'll send your way." So I sent him this snare, and that is an alcohol patina finish that he did.
Wow.
He kind of found his own unique way to make it happen. And when I got it back, I freaked out and I sent it. I've been working with DW, LP, and PDP for over 15 years now. And I sent it to Jerry over there and said, "You got to check this out. This is one of the coolest stains I've ever seen." And it was done with alcohol. And you can tune this thing, I mean, way above timbali. Your piercing ears, and it's all big rim chops, all the way down to super like vultures or continuum again. Steve
Yeah.
Jordan, you can get it real deep and gutty. And I'm using the Evans Power Center Reverse Dot.
Mhm.
This is actually pretty new. When I'm using brushes, I usually like a little bit of sweat and oil on it so it's smoother. But with Evans, easily to me my favorite brand of drum heads. I've been able to work with all the different drum head companies out there, but the technology, the innovation and the consistency. Like I have one kit I think I did like 150 gigs on last year, and not one head broke.
Yeah, they don't. Yeah.
They just don't break.
I just have the UV1 on, and
Oh,
it's been on here for a long time, and it's great. Great.
yeah, they're unbelievable. And Aaron over there, you know, the artist relations, is a buddy of mine. And back when I started to cut my teeth in the drum industry, because that's where I put a lot of my focus, was being a drum clinician and facilitator and doing drum festivals, clinics, workshops, and public speaking. I was brought into that, rest in peace, by Dom Fanularo, who was a huge inspiration for me. And he was kind enough to show me the ropes. And one of the first major drum festivals I got my break in was Montreal Drum Festival over 20 years ago. And Aaron was there working with a different company as A&R. We just hit it off, became buddies. And I was, you know, really lusting for Evans and decided to make the switch, and I've never been happier. So that's a big part of my sound in my field, because I trust them. I can take the heads anywhere. I can play them like crazy, and they're just, they're amazing.
Now you just need a spigot to get that alcohol out.
Yeah, right.
Put it in a glass and just take a shot while
Yeah,
you're
take a little shot of it.
I'm curious though, because you talked about education, and I'm curious if the people coming to you that want to learn the drums and in your clinics, is there a noticeable difference from when you did it in the 90s to the 2000s to today because of social media and what people are exposed to and what they see?
Oh, yeah. I would say, you know, I started in the late 90s when I was 16. I was getting invited to do workshops and clinics. And one, I was not good at it. I was terrified. Talking on a microphone, I would be like shaking. I would just say the silliest stuff and be like, why did I just say this stuff, right? But at that time, it was DVDs and VHS, and it was if Weckl was coming on a clinic tour or Dennis was coming through doing a Pearl Drums clinic tour. Otherwise, you just didn't get to see that stuff unless you went to a show and the drummer was way in the back. Now, people are coming up like, how can I fine tune my open close technique, right? How can I fine tune the open close, or that's what I call the push pull, because it falls under the body's natural motions. It's more of how do I improvise? How do I work on discovering and kind of finding my own voice? That's what I'm getting now, or with a lot of people, I consult them on marketing, advertising, social media, how the drum industry actually works, what an endorsement really is, and why you would choose an endorsement or to endorse a company or not. And, you know, if you're going to be touring globally, you may want to endorse a company that has distribution globally.
Right.
If you're an educator, you may want to work with the companies that really believe in education, like DW. Well, now it's under the umbrella of Roland, but Roland, DW, BDP, LP, they are very, very educational based, and they support education. Jules is amazing over there. Everyone is, but for me, that was the companies I wanted to work with because they really believed in education and making sure that everyone had access to knowledge and no one was gatekeeping. So with that being said, now it's more of a lot of these people, whether they're like 9 or 12 years old or they're in their 60s, 70s, or 80s, it's like rediscovering themselves, finding their voice. How do I gig? How do I, you know, it's more a business side and advancing their techniques, because a lot of people are self-taught now because they can hop on and go onto YouTube and slow down a Dennis Chambers thing and put it at half speed and learn it. And now here's a kid that's 11 years old just blazing Dennis Chambers stuff.
Crazy.
Yeah, Jamie recommended a video to me the other day. Shredding reppies on the Nar, right? Is that right, Jamie?
Yeah.
And the comments were, I remember having this VCR tape, and like that's how you had to learn back then, or it was being played at your local drum store. But you're right, the access to education today is extraordinary.
It's wild. I mean, I remember, and God bless my parents. I remember for my 8th Christmas, they got me a couple Pearl Power Toms.
Oh my!
I can't see it. I'll take your word for it.
Hang on.
Right back there, there's a shelf of all kinds of cool VCR tapes.
Oh, really?
Oh,
that's
yeah.
So cool.
That was like the Buddy Rich Memorial concerts.
I have that.
Oh, that was like, oh, you get like 3 or 4 unbelievable drummers swinging and soloing with a big band and battling in honor of Buddy Rich. Like,
Oh my God!
holy cow! That was my thing. And I remember, especially with Hudson and stuff, they had always had the teaser of like, here's the new Dennis Chambers that's going to be coming out or just released, and then there'd be the Chad Smith one. I would rewatch even those little clips just to learn, right? I mean, that's how much you had to milk it. I still have the Dave Weckl Back to Basics, and when I was in 9th grade, I met him, and he signed it. And then it was 2020 or something, it was one of the like kind of drum fantasy camps that was put together. We all had to do it online. So technically, I got to work with Dave. But we didn't get to be together in the same room. But, that's how I came up. I had a lot of instructors, and I did, public school band. Our school program wasn't that great. But I was blessed to meet, like I mentioned, we were talking the other day, Dorico Watson is still one of my favorite drummers to this day. If you don't know who Dorico is, look him up on YouTube, find him on Instagram, Facebook. He was drumming with Victor Wooten, so many people, Steve Bailey, you name it. But the guy can swing, he does fusion, he does country, gospel thing, anything. But he's a wonderful human, an amazing coach. Like, he whooped on me all the time, and I loved it. He's a huge reason that I kind of started to discover I should find my own voice.
Very cool. So
Well, play
I
something
think
for us.
yeah, I think everybody's dying to hear some of your tricks.
Okay, well, just some things that I would like to bring up. I am my weakness is a snare drum and brushes, right? My favorite thing to be on is give me two rack toms, two floor toms. I love that setup. Very inspired by like Billy Cobham, Dennis Chambers, Tony Williams, and thinking in melodies with toms.
Mm-hmm.
So stripping it down to the heartbeat of the drum kit to me is one of the toughest things to do, but I think one of the most important things to do. And on top of that, the brushes are amazing because we talked about tap dancing earlier and tap dancing the sounds of the city. Our brushes are very much based off of tap dancers, you know, sliding with sand on the floor and sliding out, sliding in, flipping back, right? So with brushes, if you're not experienced with brushes, anyone out there, please go and get them. Make sure you get the ones that are sticky and have the rubber so you can do things like, so you can roll them. And so you have the little knobs at the end here so you can make you can even scrape the sides.
Wow. Jamie, number one, that didn't even sound real. And the sounds that you were able to create from just a snare, Jamie, that's wild.
That was incredible. Wow.
And I left out the whole bottom. I meant to get down there too.
Oh,
I can't believe you made those sounds from just a snare. Dorothea, have you ever heard that?
well, I've seen him do some stuff and a few others, but I don't think I've seen to that extent. But yeah, I mean, just changing the pitch of the. Of course, I have my snares on, but yeah, there's so much that you can do just on one drum, and I like doing the brushes where you hit that certain sweet spot and they start multiple.
Yeah, the flutter. And the thing that's so unique because, we talk a lot about drumsticks and, you're working with a straight line and we immediately think up and down and maybe just this fulcrum. But we have so many different ways to play because with the brushes, you can start flicking, you can smack, you can play relax. I can go to make it with more attack. I can do lazy doubles. So you have all these different angles that you can use. You can use from your forearm to the fingers, to open, close, to wrist, to dead strokes or muted strokes, full strokes, the whole drum. You can roll. You can, if you're in traditional grip, you can get a single stroke this way. This way. Here. You can alternate it and get single strokes, just like if you're kind of doing the freehand technique. You can do it here. So really, all of that stuff will transfer over to the drum kit or to the drum stick on the drum set. So
Wow.
you can use all the regular rudiments plus all the brudiments, like a slide-a-diddle or flutter-diddle, backstick. So you can milk one measure or even a half a measure. I tend to think in 2/4.
Yeah.
If you can get a lot done with 2 beats, and then you flip it upside down, you turn it, sideways, put it on an angle, so to speak. And then it's like, if you can do that here, what could you do with a 3 or a 4-piece drum kit? What could you do with a hi-hat? What can you do with the floor tom? Like, holy cow, now your palette, your language, your dialect, I like to look at it as your different types of accents, changes. If you can do that here, just imagine what you could do with an entire drum kit. Imagine what your hands could do if you can get a roll, single stroke roll that's clean and power. With the brushes, or even here, or here. What could you do with a drumstick?
That was my
Right.
favorite.
Yeah.
We could dissect everything you just did over the next hour, and I wish we could. I will say, as good as that sounded, just through your phone mic, that must sound ridiculous if it was mic'd up properly.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Through
yeah.
a kit and
It
through
does.
amplification. I can't even imagine. We have a ton of questions from the chat, though. They're dying to ask you several things, Scott. And guys, if you have not hit that plus sign, I have no idea. After that, what will it take for you to hit that plus sign next to Scott's name? Okay, we have a question. Are you an Akiro Jimbo fan? I don't know.
Hey,
That's from our boy Skinny George.
hey, Skinny George, what's up, dude? That's a bad dude right there.
Yeah.
Oh, Akira Jimbo, holy cow.
I have a VHS of him too.
Yeah,
Dang.
boy.
Dorico told me, he said, Scotty, man, you got to get this thing. This dude wears 2 different colored shoes and plays music with the drums, and I don't even know what's going on. And that guy is an innovator. He,
That's crazy.
there's
He
another
has a
guy.
13-inch snare.
Yeah, but he had that signature one that was white with the wood hoop.
Yes,
Oh.
I love that drum.
Wood hoops.
That's one of my favorite drums. I need to get one of these days.
I want that one.
He's amazing. He is someone, there's definitely a lot of players I could throw out the chops, all the musicality. and like the left foot clave type business. He's insane. That's amazing that you brought him up, because that's someone that I was digging into a while back again, just on YouTube. A night I was sipping on some red wine because I like my wine and my YouTube drum videos. And Akira is someone to always look into because he's insane. Yeah, definitely dig him. I actually need to dig more into him now.
Another one though is Clayton Cameron.
Oh,
he has brush videos.
his first, he had that real funky one.
Oh
I've got the
my gosh.
VHS.
I saw him here with Tony Bennett
Oh wow.
on stage. It was amazing.
Yeah, he's amazing. Clayton is absolutely unbelievable. I had a chance to meet Ed Thigpen years ago at NAMM. And it was a cool story because I was demoing all the Regal Tip stuff, just checking out their products. And I picked up brushes and started doing all this stuff. And a gentleman came behind me and said, "Young man, don't turn around." And I said, "Okay." And he's like, "I'm going to touch your arms." And I'm like, "Okay." And he's like, "Do all the stuff you're doing." So I went through and I was doing all this stuff. And he goes, "Okay, relax here and do this here and try that here." And then I showed him some like catching the triplets, this stuff. Kind of open close thing. And he said, "Okay, turn around." And it was Ed. And I got to hang out with him for an hour at the Regal Tint booth, and he gave me all these lessons and was touching me in certain areas. And he was like, "Relax here, open up here, hold this way." And it was one of the best. Yeah. I've got mine. They're on
The
the.
brushes were Regal Tip tonight.
Yeah, I've got the Clayton Cameron brushes. I got Ed's brushes. I have a brush problem, to be honest. I probably have like 30 pairs of brushes. I still have my very first like big boy pair of Pro Marks that are similar to these, real skinny. But yeah, anyways, Clayton's amazing. Akira's amazing. Ed Thigpen definitely blows me away. Watching Clayton though, it's the same thing. It's just him and a snare drum and brushes.
Oh, yeah.
Unbelievable.
So Darren, you need to check him out. Find him on YouTube.
Yeah. Dorothea knows this, Scott. I'm just learning the molar technique.
Amazing.
So I'm excited to see all of that. Side question also from Skinny George. You very
Jeff Hamilton too. Yeah.
You're very humble, Scott, because you had mentioned earlier that you have a weakness. But what you just demonstrated, where is that weakness? I'm with Skinny George. I didn't see any weakness.
It's still there. I mean, I hear it. I know where it is. I know where my flow is and where it could be. I know where my technique is and where it will be. I also know that, this is a position of just being naked. There's no flash. I don't have double pedal. I don't have stacks. I don't have toms. I have to do it all here. And, imagine, look at some of the greatest, and I can't think off the top of my head as I say it, but look at some of the greatest just instrumental snare drummers or djembe players, or someone, maybe if they're playing tablas, like Zakir was saying, 2 drums. He can tell an entire story of waking up, having tea, going out in New York, catching a taxi, seeing a dog run down the street, going to get food, right? Like he literally can tell a story by his eyes, his playing, and maybe a little hand gesture. He was an absolute true master of language of drumming and connecting with the audience. I'm not there yet, but I will get there, And I still know, I mean, there's Clayton Cameron, there's Scott Hamilton, there is Ed Thigpen. I know all these wonderful people that I'm still following in their path while kind of blazing my own. So I know I'm never settled because this is not an instrument that just says, okay, you got your gold medal or your blue ribbon, you're done now. This instrument every day will surprise you and say, hey, you didn't think about that, did you? You didn't think about this engineering of a stick or how your body works with open, close, or molar. You didn't
Always
think.
something to learn.
Always something. This is science. This is engineering. This is math. This is world history, right? This is world cultures. This is language. It's dialect. It's accents. It's everything that ever came before us and now, and we leave the legacy when we're gone from here. So it's very inspiring that we're blessed to have the calling to play music and to be using this instrument as a vessel as our journey and story while we're alive. So I know there's so much more that I can accomplish with the drum, and there's still a lot that I can learn from the drum. So to me, it's not necessarily just a weakness. It's the awakening that I still have a long ways to go, and I'm okay with that. It's not a bad thing at all.
No.
That is truly inspiring. Wow.
What an
I
awesome-
would be remiss if I didn't ask about one of the videos you have pinned to your profile, the audition tape for Primus. It was extraordinary.
Oh, thank you.
Curious, how far did you allow yourself to think you might get picked?
Well, here's the funny thing. I didn't hear about the auditions until like 2 days before the deadline. And a lot of people started tagging me on Instagram and Facebook. I have a Facebook like Scott Pilgrim like fan page, and then the personal page. And through that, a lot of people were like, "Man, you should do this. You would kill for this." And I love Primus. I mean, I was raised on Primus. I ate the Primus cereal all the time. I love Les Claypool. At the deadline of midnight, I quick ran down to where I had my drum set up at this music venue and made that video and posted it. And then when I posted it, actually got a lot of traction through Facebook and TikTok and YouTube. And I thought, maybe there's a chance. But lo and behold, it kind of was one of those things where it was set up a bit where the band knew of some certain players they're interested in. And, so I didn't get the call. I didn't get the message, nothing. But there was a moment where I thought, maybe there's a chance I'll get a call. I would have loved it.
I didn't get the call for Spinal Tap.
I saw that. So awesome. That's legendary. That's unbelievable.
I mean, do you think Primus made the right call with the Hoff?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he literally eats and breathes that music. And it's, sometimes what your calling is per se. And that seemed to be his calling. Like a friend of mine, Scotty Zwang, is now the drummer with this great group called Humphreys McGee. And Chris Myers, Chris Myers was a drummer for like 20 years. And Chris is unfreaking believable. I love him. I love the Humphreys albums and Chris's playing. And I used to practice to all of their records because of how tough the music is. And imagining I could do this gig, but it was funny because it would be like imagining you're going to be the new drummer of Tool, right? Like Danny Carey is Tool. And I never, ever thought that Chris would leave Humphreys. And but the funny thing is, my buddy Scotty Lang is the new drummer, and he grew up listening to Humphreys. He knows all their music. He toured opening up for them or sharing all the same festivals and became friends with them. So it was like one of those moments, like he was destined to be that drummer, whether he knew it or not. I think the Hoff is the same way. Like he was destined to be the drummer. He's right for that. In my life, I've run my own groups. I do the clinics and the education. I've done a lot of studio work. I'm moving into the producer role, but I still think somewhere there is a calling for me to be somebody's drummer. But I don't know what that is yet.
That would be a great experience, even if it was just a couple years.
Yep. And I think it would be cool. Like I've been blessed to be able to travel the world for over 20 years by myself as a improvisational drum soloist, which is wild. But it'd be cool to be able to do that with some friends,
Yes. Yeah.
And I'm ready. I'm ready for that. I'm not sure what it is or when it will be. It may be 20 years from now. I don't know.
It'll come though.
Man, I would pay anything to go see you live with what you do.
Yeah.
This was highly entertaining, and
told
we
you.
are. Yeah, I mean, Dorothea, you really know how to pick them. Dorothea has really been our scout.
Yeah, thank you, by the way, so much.
Yeah, and she's really just found some extraordinary talent through all platforms. And man, not only are you just an incredibly talented drummer, but your words are truly inspiring, Scott. I mean, to drummers of all skill levels, and I'm a very beginner drummer, just 1 year in, to hear someone as talented as you say that the process continues, the journey continues. I love that because I'm a student by nature, and I chose this instrument because it felt like that there was something just always to learn, and I love absorbing information. And so that really gave me goosebumps when you said that, man. So thank you for sharing just all of this tonight on In the Pocket. I mean, did you have fun? We had a blast. Did
I
you
had
have
a
fun?
blast. I was enjoying the first half. You guys were talking about all my favorite drummers and music and time signatures and grooving. I just appreciate any opportunity. You know, it's a very large world out there, and we're all pursuing doing our own things, living our own lives, and to just get an opportunity, to just share my love of this instrument and what it's done for me. I mean, my entire life has been created because I pursued drumming and didn't listen to the naysayers saying that you can't do it for a living or whatever that is. And to me, music for a living or music for a life, whatever it is for you, choose it and do it. But if music is in your life, you're going to have more friends, more sense of community, more opportunities. You're always going to grow. You're going to learn. You're going to keep your brain and cognitive thinking sharp.
Yeah.
And you never know where it'll end
That's
up.
what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
And that's why it's just amazing. And
I did want to bring up earlier, but we got off of the subject. Back to Steve Jordan. This was a recent video. I don't know whether it just started, getting shown or whatever, but he was playing and he dropped his stick, but he never picked it up. He never got the second stick, and he continued on with the song. And I think it was the bass player was looking at him like, "Do you want me to get that stick for you?" And he just killed it. Have you guys
Really?
seen that video?
no, I haven't seen it.
You got to look it up.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Steve Jordan. And so, I mean, I just saw it within the last 2 or 3 months. So I'm feeling like it possibly is new, but he's killing it just with one hand. And
That's
you
right,
never
yeah.
know that he dropped a stick.
That's the thing with him. I remember talking to people with all my drum nerds here, and when we're gigging and doing shows and festivals together, I remember we were talking chops and independence and all this crazy stuff. And I was like, man, I want to be able to hit just the backbeat of 2 and 4, and people be like, that's a bad dude. Like, if you can hit just that backbeat with just authority and commanding it, that alone is so powerful. And Steve can do that. I mean, that's all you need to hear, and
Yep.
But yeah, he's definitely one of my favorites. And when I heard Continuum, because I wasn't a John Mayer fan, I was like, no way am I listening to Your Body's a Wonderland, dude. And then I got
love John Mayer. He's
my
such a good
favorite
guitar player. Oh my God.
He's amazing. But back when I was younger, I was like, who's this handsome guy with all these money and hits, and the ladies are chasing him, singing Your Body's a Wonderland. And then I got Continuum, and it completely changed my life. And now one of my absolute favorites, along with Peter Gabriel and Sting, is John Mayer.
Mm-hmm.
I freaking love him. I watch all of his interviews. I watch his stuff live. Of course, he's with Steve Jordan, and he has Pino Palladino with the trio, and any other people that he hires, or like when Keith Carlock was out with him for a while.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's one of those dudes who just always writes amazing songs, plays his butt off, and music is his life,
The chat was going insane tonight, Scott. Shout out to Tanya. Tanya, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to see your question. I lost it, and I don't know what it was. But, man, you have a whole new series of fans. I hope they followed you. I hope you continue to just, explore the platform space and push out this wonderful content for us to see. It's just, your body is a wonderland, Scott. And I just, yeah. Man. Oh, here it is. Oh, wait, maybe this is her question. Oh, she wanted to know, do you bend the metal rings on the brushes at 45 degrees for use in cymbals? I think that was her question.
That I try to do my best. I know some people will mark where they like the brushes to be so they don't move. because I like treating them a bit like a straight line, although they have all the flex, I like doing all the backstrokes and being able to use them so they're going to follow the motion of my body. If I was just going to be, train beaten all night or something, I might have them bended, and I would also be using, a thicker brush like this one, or those big Firth ones that are white that aren't sticky, because that's, those won't roll, but they're really for playing backbeats with a brush. But yeah, I try not to bend them at all, and I try to keep the fans fairly equal. I might have the right one a little bit more staccato in versus the left, because most of the time I found this one kind of has a little bit more staccato to it. So that's something with the fan I might bring in a little bit that would be different. But yeah, I try to keep everything to follow the straight line of my body so I can swoop and dupe anywhere I want and be able to get where I need to go.
Do people bend them? I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there that will like bend into a certain point so it won't go any further, just to act as like a lock. But I just can't bring myself to do it if I bend with my axe. But I like I hold back on the brushes a lot too, so I can have whip and I can still use the fingers, but then I still have all the flex, and then I can get still a big backbeat. So a lot of times my pinky's using that ring.
Yeah, I think mine does too. Yeah.
Yeah, so I can be right there.
So cool.
And Darren, the other thing, I might have mentioned it the other day, you should get brushes and anybody, if you're wondering how to get doubles fast, play your doubles with brushes.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Because you can't cheat and just, you can't cheat. You have to stroke it. So it's a great practice tool for doubles.
You sound so clean, and that transfers right over to the drumstick, and then you can decide on how open or closed you are for the tone.
Yeah.
And honestly, if you want to get better with time, groove, feel, colors, textures, phrasing, creativity, visualization, mega chops, brushes are the answer. That's the one pill that I'll push is if you start playing with brushes and go through the struggle with it, you're going to end up, you can play, we were talking earlier, like a pizza box sounds magical with brushes. So you can eat pizza and practice.
Dorothea did that on the show a couple of weeks ago.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
It was awesome. It was amazing. And you could see that on YouTube in the Pocket Show, guys.
That's right.
All right.
I've been doing my double strokes also on a pillow, Dorothea, because I don't get the bounce.
That'll help
so that,
too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that forces
it strengthens your chops. You can do
one
it
of
in the ear even.
Yeah, one of the coolest things I saw though was, I watched tons of videos of instruction, and one of the guys said it took him 3 years to get the doubles, and I actually love that. I think this instrument requires patience, but it requires dedication and a lot of perseverance. Mm-hmm. And I love those characteristics. Those are the ones I want to pass on to my son, right? So that's why I think I enjoy this so much. And it is inspiring when you see someone say, hey, this took me 3 years, and cool, I'm in it.
Yeah, and even longer. Like I bring it up to my students, like whether you're a cross-country runner playing basketball or hockey, for instance, you run laps, you have sprints, you jog, you do sit-ups, push-ups, pull-ups, stretching. But when you're on the court or you're on the field or in the rink, you're not doing sit-ups or push-ups, but you do all those things to support the core of what you're trying to accomplish in the form of the sport, right? All those things that we do is your weightlifting, is your chin-ups, your pull-ups, your stretching, your yoga, your centering, your breathing, all that stuff you build around, and then all of a sudden a double stroke can happen. And then you can use that however you want around the drum kit, and it feels good, But I remember double strokes forever for me was like, just could not even hear how I could be faster. It drove me insane. Same thing with paradiddles. My favorite rudiment. Now I can play them in my sleep, but I could not get faster than it. Just would not click for years.
Yeah.
And then one
It
day,
takes time.
it just, I was faster. And then as this is a groove, this is a fill, this is a lick. Oh my gosh, I get this now. So, and then it only gets better and it gets more fun.
That's right.
Was that the same experience for you, Jamie? Do you think?
Yeah, it was like just at one moment it clicked, you know, when I was doing the doubles and it was the 6-stroke rolls and the paradiddles, and all of a sudden it's just like you just start flying on it. And this happened when I was in music school, but it's just once you get that feel and you're ready to go with it, it's just off to the races from there.
Mm-hmm.
So cool.
So
Yep.
Yeah, and I did notice a lot of those things in my first year. One of the breakthroughs was my kick pedal. You know, I started coming off of the 1 and the 3, and I'm like, oh, there's a kick on an end,
Yeah.
right? And one
off.
day it just clicked.
Yeah.
You know, where I didn't lose what I was doing with my hands. So yeah, that's really cool, guys.
You can't do this in 2 months.
No.
Oh,
You know, it takes time.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow, Scott Pilgrim. I mean, tell the people what you're up to for 2026. Though, where can they find you? What do you got coming up? What are we looking forward to?
all right. Well, I'm touring with Scott Pilgrim Trio and Quartet under my music and my name. I run 2 event bands, Mojo Dojo and Nocturnal Lights. I'm out touring with Austin Benzing, Lions & Co. Probably will be back out at South by Southwest again this year. I'll be out in Texas next month.
In Texas.
Oh, I have to look it up. Well, I was just out in Texas and I was in a cave playing this show in a cave that was absolutely gorgeous. It was unreal. But Lions & Co., great artist, great band. It's a mixture of West Michigan, Chicago, and Tulsa players. It's a lot of fun. Just released a learning method for all musicians called Count, Clap, Tap. It's an ebook and an app pack for Synced app with my buddy and out of Toronto named Andy Schonecker. And I am finishing my book, Gateway to Creativity, where I got a nice publishing deal. So I just need to wrap that up here. So hopefully I can get it done. And I'm going to be getting out doing a lot more clinics this year. I took a little bit of break really from posting a lot on social media and doing clinics because I just wanted to recharge and rethink about what do I want to be sharing and putting out there for myself and for everybody else. So if anyone out there is interested in getting me into your city or your little town or your church or your school, reach out. Scott Pilgrim at Gmail, scottpilgrim.com. Everything is under my name on all platforms. And let's see. I'm producing my first full producer role with a young singer-songwriter named Lauren Allen, who's a phenomenal singer-songwriter, and she will make you laugh and she will make you cry. Genius. And she did her first studio day. We were only going to get going for 5 songs, and she knocked out 9. Unbelievable. So yeah, Lauren Allen is someone you want to be keeping your eyes and ears open. I'll be drumming on kit, percussion, and producing that record, and also working with Caitlin Cusack, who is someone who will make you get chills and cry tears of joy. She's an unbelievable singer and singer-songwriter. She actually is in Costa Rica at Costa Casual recording her album at Costa Casual. It's a recording studio in a treehouse. And I wish I could be there right now because it's super cold. But I've got work to do here. So yeah, I give online lessons. I love to do consultations, and I'm going to be posting a lot more on all platforms this year here. So please feel free to reach out, follow, spread the word. And I'd love to be able to meet you and hang out and play in person.
Sounds like you've got a busy
very cool.
2026 coming
I
up.
love to stay busy. Keeps me out of trouble and keeps me in good shape when I'm like a little squirrel behind the drum kit.
Ah,
Well, it's been such a pleasure to have you on the show, Scott.
Thank you for the opportunity. This has really been a lot of fun, and hopefully we get to do it again.
Yes.
oh, we'd love
Okay.
to have you on
Absolutely.
again. And Yeah, what a blast, man. Well, listen, have a great year. We'll see you on all your platforms and what you're doing. And, man, we can't wait to see how you grow and what you do this year, brother.
Same with all of you. Thank you again for the opportunity.
Thank you for your time tonight, man.
Right.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Oh, man. Scott Pilgrim. Guys, find him on YouTube, on Instagram, on Facebook, on TikTok, anywhere. Just hit that plus button, and the content will keep you busy. Jamie, wow. What a show.
Yeah, that was incredible. I'm inspired.
That really was.
Yep.
It really
Get
was.
your brushes out.
Yeah, I'm gonna get brushes. I really am. I'm going to get. Yes, I'm gonna go to Guitar Center on my lesson day on Wednesday, and I'm gonna get brushes.
Yeah.
I have an electronic kit, but I think the one I have will allow you to use brushes. That
Really?
Yeah, it specifically said that when I bought it.
Okay, you probably need the nylon ones rather than the sharp steel, whatever these
Yeah,
are.
yeah. I don't want to rip
Get the
mesh
nylon
out.
ones.
Yeah.
ProMark has some cool nylon ones.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, Jamie, talk about next week's guest. It's a big one, and I'm super grateful that you arranged this. Scott, wait till you hear who we have on next week.
We got Wilfredo Reyes Jr. coming on.
Can you believe
He's
that?
currently playing with Chicago. He's played with Santana, Gloria Stefan, a whole slew of amazing artists. This guy is the real deal, and he's got videos dating back to probably the 90s, I'm guessing, or early 2000s at least. Yeah, very talented individual. So we're really excited to have him coming on
It's gonna
Yeah.
be awesome.
next Monday.
That's a
Yeah,
big.
next Monday, inthepocketlive.com. That will take you straight to where we broadcast. We're hoping next week that we are multi-streaming to other platforms as well. So stay tuned for that. Another shout out to our friend Charlie Cohen, who is helping us on the tech side. For the replay, because this is a show you definitely want to go back and watch again. If you missed any of Scott's performance, it is worth watching. Not once, not twice, but maybe even 3 times. And hey, why not just do a 16th and do it 4 times? But just go to YouTube, and it's In the Pocket Show, and that will take you directly to the replay as well as clips. But guys, what an incredible first show of the new year. I missed you all, and it's good to be back. I can't wait for next Monday. Everyone have a beautiful week. Jamie, as always. Oh, look at that little guy. Look at that fur
15
baby.
minutes. Peg's just waking up too. He just turned 12 yesterday.
He wants to play on the snare.
He's a Chihuahua. You guys were talking about eating Chihuahuas earlier. He's a Chihuahua.
I do not condone. I want to make that very clear. I don't condone eating dogs. Okay.
Scott, will
Jamie,
you play us out tonight?
Oh, yeah,
right.
sure.
Everyone's dying to hear you.
Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. In the Pocket every Monday, 8 p.m. It's Scott Pilgrim playing us out. And we'll see you next week. Brilliant. Brilliant. Much love to you, Scott. All right? Much love. Bye, everyone. See y'all next week on InThePocketLive.com.
Thanks for joining us.
All right.